Shankar, one quick question. Since you mentioned relative valuations, when in your article as well, you wrote about how if a company was available at whatever market cap and then come down, at some point of time, it looks attractive. So I'm trying to understand from you. You may not have looked at Lenskart closely. You may have no interest in investing. But you mentioned the relative valuation of Lenskart at least thrice in this conversation. Would you believe that the IPO could get subscription because on a relative basis, compared to maybe some of the others, price to sales, Lenskart might be attractive for you?
So Lenskart made one fundamental mistake here, okay? They somehow made a profit appear like a rabbit out of a hat. I'm told it's like some other income or some one-time income and all that. Again, I have no interest in knowing what kind of income it is. But the moment you have an earning, you get attached to that earning something called the price to earnings multiple. And that's where the problem lies. Paytm went public when it had no profit. It had a huge loss. Nykaa went public when it was making, I don't know, some 2 crores or I don't know, some ridiculously low number. So that's the point. You should never show a good profit number before going public. This is the fine art of IPO marketing. Always keep us very tiny or actually a little negative number there so that nobody can calculate PE ratio. Then everything goes to the price to sales. And on price to sales, Lenskart is not as bad as any of the names I mentioned in the past. They went public at 25, 50 times. This poor chap is going public at 10 times. All is good. Now, somewhere they made the cardinal mistake of showing a profit. And that's where the whole deck of cards is beginning to collapse. And that's where I would really advise companies, profit mat dikhao yaar, thoda sa loss rakho, to wo ratio nikal jayega. And then you're good at price to sales. That's the whole point I'm trying to make.
One more aspect to this, Shankar, and I assume that all of the many very well-paid advisors, the whole coterie of people who now make IPOs happen should be listening to this and taking notes. But I think what really sparked or maybe made this fire about Lenskart even larger is the commentary coming in from the management. Because when Peyush was asked questions about valuations, the response seemed to be, that's not my job. My job is to sell spectacles at good rates. Valuations, ye merchant banker log dekh lenge. As someone who's running the business, if this is what you're commanding, you're the face. You have to come and stick your neck out there and convince me as an investor why I'm betting on you. Because at the end of the day, you're betting on the founder promoter in a business like this.
I completely agree. That is where they really messed up. I don't think Peyush Bansal was adequately briefed by the team before he went on television. I mean, he should have been giving my pitch, basically, that my valuation is actually quite reasonable. It is 40–50% lower than what similar companies have gone public in the past. And the fact is that I'm leaving a decent amount of money on the table, given this big valuation on the price to sales basis. I don't think he was well coached. I don't think he was well briefed. And I think that's where I completely agree. That's where the whole thing started to go south, because he appeared to be completely nonchalant about this. As a promoter and as a founder, pricing is central to your showing up in office around the IPO days. I mean, ultimately, it's your company. It's like you're pricing your spectacles at 100 rupees, 200 rupees. And frankly, I don't even know what price of spectacles are these days. So similarly, you're pricing a stock. It is not rocket science. You can't say, no, it's somebody else's job. That is where really they messed up, or rather he messed up. And I completely would like to tell future IPO candidates, please get good media advisors on what to say and what not to say. Just like a political rally. These are very fine lines in which you appear to be very sincere or you appear to be very, very nonchalant. And I think, unfortunately, he came out looking very, very, like a hands-off thing.